I think it was a different approach to what I had been experiencing in the past. And I was at a point where I needed that next option. So I was kind of tired of the medical approach, the traditional, what I was doing wasn't working, and I was ready for something different. And I liked everything that PRC had to offer, and I was willing to give it a try. I was kind of at that point that I'd try anything, even once, and PRC was that for me. So I was a push crasher. I would do until I couldn't do anymore. And the weekend actually before I entered the program, I had gone to a wedding, which is supposed to be an amazing like celebration of somebody else. And the day after was really rough for me. And it was kind of that point that I was like, I can't do this anymore. So now on the flip side, I am able to be in my friends' weddings. I'm able to go shopping without problems. I'm able to go on walks every day without feeling like I'm pushing through something just to accomplish a task. I enjoy it. And I feel like I'm able to function so much better to where I feel better because I'm doing more. I had just graduated college. I graduated early May and I joined the program later that month. I was in that phase of I didn't know where I was in life. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what the next step was for me. So during the program, it was just kind of figuring out all of those things on top of the program. What's next for me career-wise, what was next school-wise, and then on top of that, making all of these lifestyle modifications. So that was a little bit difficult, as well as being farther from my family. My family actually wasn't here. I was here, besides a few friends, alone for the majority of the time. Kind of took a toll a little bit of learning to kind of stand on my own while going through this journey of figuring out chronic pain too. Versus after the program, it's just been implementing those modifications every day. So sticking to my schedule, doing things even when I don't want to. It's very important. And some days it's just a lot, but being able to kind of step back and remember those principles, but also not being hard on myself at the same time. First, it was hard. I remember I had my printout of my 2 week schedule, and I tried to adjust that over to a Google calendar or my phone calendar and tried to follow that as much as I possibly could for the first 2 weeks. And I was like, if I can make it through the first 2 weeks, then I can apply this for the next 2 months. And then after 2 months, I can apply it after. And it really was just that kind of day-to-day approach and figuring out how within the program, you kind of think it's a little bit rigid because everything is so structured. And so going home can seem very overwhelming, but just taking it a day at a time and a step at a time and making sure that you're doing something that you learned from PRC, it does get easier. And over the past couple of months, I've had to remind myself just how much I don't have to worry about anymore. It's second nature, and it's gotten to that point where I realize what I'm doing just kind of follows PRC lifestyle without even, having to sit down and schedule and write out and do everything that I'm supposed to do. It just kind of comes now without much pre-thought. Sleep hygiene. That's my number one. I've noticed how much my day is impacted just by my sleep, and that's the one thing that I can control at the end of the day. Even when my schedule is kind of gone crazy, I've gone off the tracks a little bit. I know at the end of the night, if I can just get on my good sleep cycle, that I can make it through anything. So that's like my number one. My life has changed so much for the better. I've been given the tools to implement, and that's not to say that PRC changed my life in any way, but I was given the tools to change my own life. And that has been so freeing to be able to go day to day and not have to stop and worry about when's pain gonna creep in. I'm not even worried about it anymore because I know what to do in that, regard. And so that alone has opened up so many doors, so many opportunities. Even if it's not a tangible goal that I've achieved or anything, my happiness has improved. Like I said before, my family wasn't present with me during the program, but my family was a big reason why I chose to come here. They knew kind of how much I had tried before coming, and knew that it wasn't working, and they were kind of along the same lines of, let's just give it a go. Like, I want you to be successful and I want you to have the tools to be able to get there. And so they kind of gave me that little push to come to PRC, even though they weren't here when I was going through it. But my friends were. My friends came at the end of PRC to celebrate my birthday with me. And even after just a couple of weeks, they were able to tell that when we went and were exploring different places, that I had more energy, that I was able to go a little bit longer without seeing that crash later. And they were able to tell me those things along the way, which kind of gave me the little boost to keep going and to get through the program. After the program, when I returned home, my family could tell a big difference as well. It had been a couple of weeks since they had seen me, and they could already tell the difference in my functioning. And they were kind of my accountability partners, as far as making sure that, those first, like I said before, the first 2 weeks, maintaining my schedule. So it wasn't like pushing me to do anything, but they constantly gave me reminders. Hey, maybe you should do this today, or let's try this, or on a difficult day or a difficult moment of the day, knew how to respond to kind of get me through those moments, which made a big difference. And they've continued to do that. It's 3 years out, and I still get reminders from my parents, my friends, of just being proud of the progress that I've made, but also keeping me accountable too. So my experience is a little bit different. I actually had the opportunity to come back a couple of weeks ago and to be a PA student alongside the team members of PRC, and to help and encourage other patients along the way. And things that I would tell them is just to stay the course. Take the first step and stay the course. It's not immediate. When when you take a look at yourself in the mirror every day, you're not going to see, a stark improvement at each day. But when you take a look at it over the 3 weeks, you're going to see the biggest change in yourself. And those reinforcements are going to come from others telling you how much they see a difference in you. But you have to take that step each day. You have to continually choose to show up to the program. And you're the one utilizing the tools. Nobody's forcing you, but they're encouraging you and they want you to. And so I think that's the biggest thing I can tell you, is to not only show up for the program, but show up for yourself each day, and prove it to yourself that you're no longer the same person that you were before the chronic pain came. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to be a different person and an even better person at the end of it.